Hello, I'm Toycat, and welcome back to another video. Today we'll be talking about overpowered skins in Minecraft. This might sound like a ridiculous topic for a video, but it's a genuine thing in Minecraft console that some skins are better for PvP than others. The reason for this varies from skin to skin, but today I'll be letting you know why certain skins are overpowered and letting you know which skins are those ones, so you can either use them yourself and get a slight edge in PvP, or so you can ban them if you're playing in games where you want to make sure that everyone has the exact same chances. So the reason this comes up is because there has been a lot of rumors about a new PvP piece of content coming to Minecraft the future, and although I legally cannot comment on those rumors, what I can say is maybe you should be prepared just in case something does come out, and that's why I'm making today's video, to give you that little bit of an edge when it does. So hopefully you all do enjoy it. If you do, please do like the video and let me know, because it helps out the channel and lets me know you do like the PvP content. There's going to be a lot more of this going into the next few weeks, and maybe that'll become obvious why in the future. But with that said, let's get straight into it, really, shall we? So let's start by talking about why certain skins are overpowered and why they're not, because you might think, how is that possible? Like, being a cat doesn't give you any advantage over being Steve. It's the exact same skin, right? Same arms, same legs, etc. And you might be able to argue that Alex has slightly thinner arms, but it's the same hit model apparently, so there's pretty much no advantage there. However, Minecraft console has a lot of themed skin packs, and over time the skins have slowly varied more and more from that standard formula, where you get stuff like the Baby Ghast, where you get stuff like Rancor, and today I'm going to be showing the 5 skins and why I think they're most OP. But yeah, if you just go through any one of these skin packs, you can kind of see how some characters really deviate from that standard skin, like Marge's hair goes all the way up, and although their skin doesn't actually change in this way, the fact that it looks like it does can have a few different benefits. So there's Maggie, for instance, too. But yeah, let's talk about what those skins are, and yeah, most of them do come from Xbox skin packs, so if they're not available on the Wii U, for instance, and you're playing there, that's a thing, but I think most of these are available on both the Xbox and the PlayStation, with the exception of Guilty Spark over here, which is exclusively for the Halo Mashup pack. So yeah, with that said, let's get straight into it, shall we? By talking about the 5th most OP skin, in my opinion, which has to be Rancor. So Rancor is a Star Wars skin. He comes from the very first skin pack. I believe it's it's called the Classic skin pack, and the Classic Star Wars skin pack. And basically, the idea behind this guy is he's a very, very big skin, which at first sounds like it has no real benefit because it means that there's more area to hit. But bear in mind, there actually isn't more area to hit, even though you look so massive. Like, you might think, oh, it's not actually that big compared to a normal skin. Here is here's a normal skin just over here, and there's Rancor. So you can kind of see just how much bulk he adds to you. So just look in the background right there. That's how much bulk is added. So the reason this is useful is because it means that people will be trying to hit what they see, but not necessarily always going through. If they try to hit too far to the right of the arm, they're not going to hit you. If they hit too far to the top of the head, they're not going to hit you, and it's a really, really useful way to, kind of confuse enemies in that particular way. Also, you're more intimidating, which has some benefits, I'm sure, like when you see this guy with a diamond sword. I know, it just seems a little bit worse than other stuff. And also, one of the benefits of this skin, I believe, is the fact that Armored wears a little bit differently. It doesn't show up on the entirety of the skin, which means it's very slightly hidden. Not so much as other skins, but something does still apply right there. So just keep that in mind as you play this guy. And yeah, with that said, let's move on to the next skin, because the 5th one here, Rancor, he's big, he's terrifying. The only downsides are, being able to be hit more isn't necessarily always a good thing, and if, people know where the core is and they just aim there, it's not going to be a problem. And the second downside is because he is very slightly taller than 2 blocks, it means you actually can't hide behind 2 block height gaps, which is kind of a big deal in this particular case. So yeah, with that said, let's move on to the next skin, which is going to be the Baby Ghast, and is going to be Guilty Spark. So they're basically the same thing. This comes from a cheaper skin pack, but you might already have the Halo Mashup pack, because it's a Mashup pack. But yeah, this is the Baby Ghast from Battle and Beast 2. This is the Guilty Spark from Halo. So yeah, let's start by talking about the... let's just use the Baby Ghast for this particular example, because the thing about the Baby Ghast is, even though, again, it's the same skin model in terms of how much damage you'll take, it means there's this very interesting, kind of disconnect where the sword and bow and anything else you hold is going to be floating in midair, because where your old arms would be are still there. They're still pulling it and whatnot. It's just you can't see them because they've got invisible, transparent textures. So yeah, what is the benefit of being this Baby Ghast then? Well, I think that should be obvious. First of all, people might not know that they can only, that you can hit anywhere on the body. A lot of people won't know that, in fact, and they'll try to go for this tiny little head. And bear in mind, this head is smaller than a block by quite a bit. There's a beacon and there's me, and it means that you actually can have some serious advantage over people that don't know what they're doing. And that's really a lot of the big advantage here, being able to hide from stuff like that. Unfortunately, if you do wear armor, it does, kind of negate this advantage, so there's that. But still, having a tiny skin is really cool, because it means that you're really difficult to spot from a distance. Being able to spot this little thing from a distance is way harder than being able to spot that. And also, it means that when you get into the fight, if they don't know they can attack anywhere in your body, which they don't always do. I mean, if you have like armor on, it does make it a little bit more obvious, but still, if they don't know where they can attack on the body, they might, not go for attacks they think they can, and it just means they might hit miss more often. It's a useful little technique, and it's one I'd recommend, and it's why Guilty Spark and the Baby Ghast both have pretty cool advantages, because this is the same thing but like that. And as you can see, if you just want to confuse people by being a floating sword with some boots, it's like having a free invisibility potion for 3/4 of your body, which is pretty darn awesome if you ask me. So yeah, with that said, let's move on to the next one here, and the next one is going to have to be Yoda. So the reason Yoda is in this particular list is because Yoda is less than a full block 2, which means, like, I think it's the tiniest bit over, actually, in fact, wait, there we go, no, he is less than a full block 2, which means you can actually hide behind blocks like this, and as long as you have nothing out, you are unable to be seen, which is so useful, because it means that, you know, basically you're able to hide behind things you really shouldn't be. Even though part of your skin is poking out, you know, your whole body is up there, you know, as you can see from the arm, basically you can't be seen from here because, you know, that part of the skin is invisible, and it means you can do some really crazy hiding. So if you play a more tactical, you know, form of game mode where lots of hiding is involved, and, you know, sneaking out from behind here and seeing stuff, that's something you can do, because bear in mind, you can see over that, they just can't see you, which is so crazy awesome, because, you know, your head's still based from the same place. The fact that you can see people where they can't see you is such a big advantage, but bear in mind, this isn't only where Yoda shines. By the way, this applies to R2-D2, it applies to Maggie from the Simpsons skin pack, it applies to a lot of skins, mostly licensed skins. So if you want to be Maggie Simpson, like, I don't know, maybe there's some better advantage to that. But yeah, it applies to a whole bunch of different skins, which have the slightly smaller things to them. Like I said, R2-D2 is another example, the Wicket TW Warwick. These all have the exact same benefit of being able to hide behind blocks while being able to see, but also they have the advantage of being able to wear armor without it being visible on you. So here's me wearing a full set of armor. I look exactly the same, but yet I look so harmless. You know, people don't realize that, you know, your armor should be on there. And the reason that this is so deadly is because it means that they have no idea if you have, you know, no armor. You know, because in a lot of cases when you're playing any PvP modes, you might have no armor, or if you have a full set of diamond enchanted armor, they don't know. They just have to go in based on your aggression or your non-aggression. So if you charge down someone, you know, if you're really worried about someone, if you charge into them, they might just assume you have really good stuff, and they might run away. Or vice versa might happen. They might try and chase you, you know, thinking that you have nothing, and then you turn around and you trap them. There's a lot of benefits to not showing off your armor to someone, and this is why the tiny skins that don't have it are pretty awesome. However, there's one more thing that has even more advantage than this, and this is the special weapons Dalek. So the Daleks were one of the more interesting skins when they first released, because if you look in the Doctor Who skin pack, which by the way, the Doctor Who and the Star Wars skin packs are slightly more expensive, so keep that in mind. I did have to buy it for this video. I was like, £2.39, but well, I think that's like $2.99. Yeah, there's a bunch of Daleks you can get, but there's one that really interested me that I didn't notice when I last scrolled through them. It's the special weapons Dalek. So this special weapon Dalek is only 1.5 blocks tall, so as you can see, there's the full 2 blocks. This is 1.5 blocks, so he's almost able to hide, but not really entirely. But he has a lot of advantages of all the skins we've gone through so far. So first of all, the armor entirely hidden. You can't work out whether this guy's armored or not, even though you might assume that he should have armor, which is a little bit weird. Second of all, the fact that when you sprint with this guy, it's not really so obvious. Every other skin has some form of legs for the most part, besides the other Daleks. Whereas again, the Daleks don't actually have a running animation because they are just this big body, which means that if I have nothing out, as you can see from the front, it's very hard to tell whether I'm sprinting or whether I'm going forwards, which means they have to work out based on speed. And there's not actually a massive speed difference between sprinting and walking, which means you can kind of, you know, trick some people this way. And again, it's just a really useful thing to have people not be able to work out if you're sprinting or not. Means, you know, they might not know whether they can chase you, or all these sorts of things. They might think you're even going faster because of this, because it just looks like that way. Again, something that's pretty useful by itself. But on top of being able to, you know, hide your armor, on top of being able to hide with your sprinting, you can hide what you're actually using. Here's me with a bow right now. You can just about see it until I actually pull back, and then even then, like, depending on the angle, you can't actually see the bow. And that's this crazy useful thing about this. Being able to hide your bow as you're firing it means that you can shoot it, you can aim at people, and they might just think, oh, what's he doing right there? And then suddenly, oh, they're hit by an arrow. They've got the downside in that fight. You can go and you can finish them, and it's just such a useful thing right there. So yeah, the special weapons Dalek, if you know, certain skins aren't banned in your game, which you know, is something that a lot of people presumably will be doing, that is something you will want to take advantage of, because 1, you're being a Dalek, which is pretty cool. 2, you hide your sprinting. 3, you hide what weapon you're using in most cases, besides the sword. The sword is visible, but you know, potions, the flint and steel, and all that sort of stuff are pretty well hidden depending on your angle. All that stuff happens at once, and that's on top of being slightly smaller than the regular skin, which means that you can actually hide behind blocks if you do it well enough. So yeah, for instance, if it's just 1.5 blocks, you can just about hide behind there. So behind this thing, for instance, as you can see, you're pretty much hidden, which is something better than most normal skins. So yeah, that is why the Dalek is awesome. Oh, and that's on top of people, because it's wider than normal skin, people might hit the wrong part and they might fail, kind of like with Rancor. That's why the Dalek is the best skin in my opinion. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. I'm, you know, again, this is my personal opinion. I'm always curious what you have to say. And besides that, I hope you did all enjoy today's video. It was going really in-depth on skins, but again, it's something I think will come in pretty handy, or might already come in handy if you're playing a lot of PvP already. So with that said, hopefully you did enjoy today's video, and like if you liked it, share if you really liked it, subscribe if you're new around here, and I'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye, everyone.